So we're up and rolling.
Okay.
Here we are with another episode, and would you like to introduce yourself to kick things off?
What's up? My name's Emmett. I am the guy from Vishnu.
Hell yeah. So where are you based out of right now?
Right now, I'm in my house in Salt Lake City, Utah, that I rent with three of my friends, which also happens to be the Vishnu headquarters. I'm in my room. I'm in Mill Creek, Utah, which is like not quite suburban, but not quite the city. Think Mormons, a lot of dogs, fruit trees, very idyllic type of place. But at the same time, my across the street neighbor just got raided for selling heroin. So you just never know, nowadays who your neighbor is. But yeah, we get to sit in our living room and watch. It was insane. It was like an 8-hour standoff in the suburbs of this dude that, I mean, we see him all the time, like crazy foot traffic in and out of his house and shit. We always thought he was like selling drugs and stuff, but I mean, they brought like a SWAT tank full of guys and drove onto his fucking yard. Can I swear?
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
If I can't swear and I can't smoke, I am fucked. From Trailer Park Boys. But yeah, anyways, I saw this dude get arrested the other day. I saw a whole SWAT team. It was pretty dope. But yeah, I'm in my house. And there's no Vishnu headquarters. It's just me in my room staring at my computer for sure.
Word. So it is around 10:40 my time, 8:40 your time, PM.
Yeah.
So you want to explain why you're waking up in basically past sunset?
I'm just starting my day right now. I've always been a nocturnal person. I actually remember in second grade when I learned how to read chapter books. I remember staying up all night before school reading the Magic Treehouse series and then sleeping all through school. So this is nothing like new. This is how I've always been. But in the last month, particularly with skis coming in and fulfilling pre-orders and stuff, I've been sleeping like 6 hours a day tops and just like getting out into the pod. Since I run this out of my house, I store all the skis in a portable on-demand storage unit, like next to my garage. So, next to my garage in my driveway is just a couple hundred pairs of skis in a pod. So I basically just wake up whenever I wake up, lock myself in the pod, and I'm the pod father, dude. I'm just fucking in there. Just in there, boxing skis and going crazy.
Word. So where do we even start? I think let's do some background before we jump into what you're up to.
Sure.
Yeah. So where are you from, man? Where does your journey start?
I'm from the suburbs of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Before we get into background, I want to say that I'm going to be vaping furiously during this interview, and I know that online there's this meme about people smoking cigarettes and riding Vishnus. Fucking hate it. Do not smoke cigarettes. I'm here. Before I tell you about where I'm from and all that shit, I'm telling you, children who are listening, do not smoke. I know you think it's cool to upset your parents. I can relate to that. I know you probably think you'll never get old. You'll never be 30. I can relate to that. And some of you even may think that dying is cool, which I also totally understand. But I need you to not smoke. I need you to not vape, please. Moving on. I just had to get that out there. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, which is a town of about 5,000 people in southeastern Waukesha County. About an hour outside of Chicago. Hour and a half.
Word. So, so what was that community like? Are you near a mountain? Are you like more of a city type thing? More of like surrounded by cows? What was that landscape like?
The woods, basically the woods. I grew up skiing at a hill, ironically called the Highlands of Olympia, which was a I might have told this on another podcast that I was on, but it's pretty funny. The hill itself was a landfill that they filled to the top, and then they redid the freeway by my house, and they took the old freeway pieces and they put that on top of the landfill, and then they covered that with dirt, and that was the ski hill. It was 250 vertical feet, very dangerous because it was a landfill. It had like these pipes, like methane, I don't know, release pipe. I don't know how it works, but there were just pipes in the middle of the run, just that people would run into and get fucked up. And it's Wisconsin, so everyone's drunk anyway. And the lift tickets were $15. The lift used to stop and then roll backwards sometimes. It was sketch, dude. It doesn't exist anymore. They shut it down because the liability, it was just not. But yeah, that's where I grew up skiing. My brother just took me to the top once when I was probably 8, I'm guessing, and just left me up there.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Figured it out from there.
And yeah, and that was it. I never really learned how to ski properly, which I regret. I think like the Midwest pizza swag that I think a lot of kids have, even when they move out to Utah, I think that has a lot to do with why my knees are so bad. Like my friend Kyson that skis for Vishnu that I live with, like he was born and raised in Utah, and he was taught from an early age to always be on edge. And that has made his skiing much more, not only smooth and better to look at, but like safer. I wish I would have taken a lesson, to be honest. Like I've never taken a ski lesson ever in my life. And so I moved to Utah, and my technique, I'm not talking like tricks, I'm talking just going downhill. My technique was horrible. And as a result, I've torn both my ACLs. So you got to learn to stay on edge, I guess, is the moral of that story. Because I see a lot of people that are really good at skiing, a lot of kids, particularly in Minnesota at Highland. Highland, the one I went to. Yeah, I always confuse that one in Afton Alps. But yeah, Highland, I see a lot of kids that are, 3 different 6s out of a rail. But like Mike Hornbeck said, which was a controversial statement, they're pizzaing before the rail. I'm not trying to gatekeep here. I'm trying to protect your knees. I'm trying to help you. Don't pizza. Don't smoke. Don't pizza. That's what I got. That's what I'm going with so far here. I wish I could go back and learn how to ski properly. Because even now, after my second ACL injury, I still find myself doing the old Wisconsin fucking pizza. And it's just dangerous. It's just dangerous. For
yeah.
Sure.
So, we could go so many different directions from there. Do you want to continue on the timeline? Do you want to hop into when you started smoking?
I started smoking when I was 15 years old because I grew up with very strict parents they knew that my oldest brother had some issues, and so they were very strict with me. And I thought it would be dope to smoke cigs. And it was. It was cool, for sure. But I regret it now, And it annoys me that sometimes I forget. You got to remember that the kids that you're reaching have underdeveloped brains. And it's not their fault. Your brain isn't fully developed as far as your frontal lobe and your decision-making skills until you're about 24. And so these 14, 15-year-olds, they see what you're doing and they copy it and they don't know any better. And I've just only recently become very aware of that I need to be more careful with what I say, what I do. Not because I want to be viewed as this virtuous person. I don't care. I just don't want to I don't want some kid to see me smoking cigs on the lift like a dirtbag and be like, "Oh, the Vishnu guy smokes. Like I should do." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I've just recently become keenly aware of even the words the way I talk. I've tried to stop swearing because I think it makes you sound stupid. But I just don't want to. I don't want to be a bad influence, man. I guess.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I realize that, like, yeah, it's important to just leave a positive mark on whatever it is you're doing. So, you know.
Yeah.
As far as skiing goes, I was the only kid in my high school that skied, straight up, and this is kind of a culture of skiing that's a little bit lost nowadays. I mean, maybe not, but the rail jam, the area rail jam was such a huge part. I'm 30 years old, which is fucked up. But yeah, you know, driving 3 hours to a rail jam was pretty regular for me. And I would meet people that I'm still friends with to this day. And that's kind of how my ski community in the Midwest was built, is just taking trips to different places. Because I was the only skier in my high school, and I was like, I was raised in like a sporting family. Like, my brother played college football, my dad did too, and sports were like a big part of my upbringing.
What school do they play for?
They both played like D3, but they're good. Like, my brother was pretty good. He got offers from the AFL and stuff. He never pursued it, but point is, I was raised in this like sporting type of family, and I always struggled with I want to fit in with my family, but I want to do my own thing, you know, and that's what skiing was for me. I think that's something people from the Midwest can relate to a lot. It's very baseball, very football, very Friday Night Lights, you know, and that just wasn't it to me. But I did play basketball, baseball, and football up until sophomore year of high school, I guess. And then, but skiing has always been the only thing that I really enjoy. And I'm not being facetious. I'm a pretty negative dude overall, as far as life it goes. I mean, it's mental illness, it's whatever. But one of the true things I truly enjoy and never get sick of, and never feel jaded about, is skiing. And it's been like that since I was, 12 years old. And I don't see it changing anytime soon. But it wasn't until I saw, and many people my age that are listening to this will relate to this, the Tom Waller Super Unknown video, that my whole life changed. Because up until that point, I had loved skiing. I had been, going to Barnes and Noble, buying Free Skier magazine. I discovered newschoolers.com. I discovered the US Free Skiing Open. And it was I got Freeze magazine, rest in peace, the greatest publication of skiing ever. But it wasn't until I saw the Tom Waller Super Unknown, I saw him skiing at Park City in that dark brown and tan suit, that I was like, oh, I'm doing that. I was like, oh shit, I hate it here in Wisconsin. There's nothing here for me. I'm moving to Utah, straight up. That was probably when I was like 16. So Tom Walsh, who I've met a handful of times, nice dude. I don't think he realizes just how, I mean, maybe he does realize it, but he truly influenced an entire generation of kids to be like, I could be that. You saw Tom Wallish and you saw his just, no poles, big ass clothes. And it was like, damn, this is fucking new. This is cool. I could do this. Turns out I couldn't. Turns out. But because he's super sick, but that was what inspired me to apply to the University of Utah. And make the move out,
Mm-hmm.
And then things kind of unfolded from there.
Yeah. So before we get into like college days, like who was the guy in skiing for you before Tom Wallish?
Well, there are a lot of them before Tom Walsh, but the Tom Walsh Super Unknown video was like a catalyst to being like, not only do I like skiing, but I'm going to pursue it, I guess, if you will. Mm-hmm. But before that, I mean, all those classic level 1 movies, Ahmed Dadali was someone who I really liked, still do. Dave Crichton from the old Level 1 movies was dope. Some names that I bet people won't even like recognize really, but like Josh Bibby was sick. If you remember Schematic or those Playhouse films, like Plehouse Playhouse from Quebec. I had a copy of White Shine. That was one of their movies. And in it, there's a segment of a 5 foot tall kid doing tail presses on a sea box somewhere in Quebec. And it's Phil Casabon. It was his first appearance in a video. And I remember seeing that and being like, this dude's sick. How could I forget? The most influential person to me as far as the way that I personally ski is Garrett Russell, who you had on the show already.
Yeah.
One video in particular that he made, the one where I think he's at Mammoth and he's like mic'd up and he's like narrating.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Another video. Yeah.
Yeah. That blew my mind, dude, that video, because I was like, okay, first of all, the idea of miking somebody up in a ski video is cool and something I still want to do to this day. But up until that point, I'd only been exposed to skiing in like competition settings. I'm talking, I was probably like 13, 14. Watching skiing on the X Games, watching the US Open, everyone's doing a switch 10. I remember in the Big Air one year, people did like 12 switch 10s in a row. That was the thing, And so to see Garrett Russell just like fucking around, for lack of a better term, I had never seen anyone ski like that ever. And it just really opened my eyes to the opportunities of, skiing, not to sound pretentious, but just like ski with your brain to replace the fact that you're not good. I'm not saying Garrett Russell's not good. Like, he's got tricks. I'm saying like that influenced it for me, because I was like, I'm not very good, but I can approach this in a way that other people don't. And that kind of went on to be the founding ethos of Vishnu, really. I just didn't really realize it at the time, but that video of Garrett Russell, I watched it the other day and it still makes me laugh. So that was an important video. Shouts out to Garrett Russell. He's still skiing. I listened to some of the podcasts that you do with him. I mean, yeah, he's cool. He's a man for sure.
Yeah. I had so much, I learned a lot talking to Garrett, dude. Like, really his influence and how it's kind of, it really serves as like the foundation for a lot of the creative movement going on in skiing right now. Something I didn't know before talking to him, and something that like I definitely appreciate the more I'm learning.
The other person that owes that, now I don't think I've ever said, I'm about to do it right now though, but I've never really said the phrase new wave out loud. I just did it. but a lot of not the tricks, but like the conceptual base, the foundation, like you were saying, comes from Eric Pollard. 100%.
Yeah.
Riding without poles, riding switch and pow, not really spinning above a 7 ever, really. And then this is kind of tangential, but if you are listening to this, you probably know who Dylan Manley is. Dylan Manley loves to do like a forward nose press on a box, like press your noses going forward. He took that from Jack Borland, who you may also know, who is a line guy, person that influenced me heavily as well. But one time we were at a premiere and Dylan was like saying that to Jack Borland, being like, I stole this from you in this trick I love. And Jack Borland was like, I got it from Eric Pollard. Eric Pollard in this Helly Hansen video called Happy Happy, which I had a DVD copy of, and I used to watch it until it stopped working. They set up like just a flat box at Mount Hood Meadows, and he goes really fast and goes over it and just like brushes his noses on it. That was in like 2003, maybe 2004. So the new wave, I can't believe I just said it again, Christ, is not new, is what I'm saying. But that's the cool thing about skiing, and that's the cool thing about the internet, and you can find all this shit if you want. It can be discovered. Like, you can think that skiing is one way, and then if you're really into it, you can learn, like, oh shit, like, you know, Dave Creighton was bomb dropping off of a 2-story patio and then doing a 360 onto a picnic table in 2005.
Yeah.
Right. So bomb drop off a 2-story patio to 360 on a picnic table sounds like something that someone would do now.
Exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
But, and in that video, also his segment from Forward, he does a nugget. He does a 1-foot nugget on a ledge, and then he jumps to a rail after it.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that, like, someone like Cal Carson does all the time. Right. But it's not new. Everything's been done. That's just the way it is. But there are certain people that really set the foundation, and then other people copied them, and then here we are.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of cyclical. I feel like people were doing that sort of thing, and then I don't know. I wish I really knew my ski history more, but they were doing that. And then it turned into huge park shoots where they would build, 80-foot kickers with a huge logo for the resort, like in the middle of it. That
was an era. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know when that change sort of happened and when it disappeared. I was thinking the other day, I really thought it coincided with magazines, because you look at some of these old. Like I got introduced to skiing through Rage Films, and a lot of their shoots were at resorts where the resort would build something, they would spell it out. Like, I remember like a Mount Bachelor thing spelled out in cut out letters, and all the shots in the movie look like it's a shoot for a magazine. So I had a theory the other day, like the magazine era of skiing, where like the videos looked like shoots for magazines.
I think that makes sense, because they were building, they built the Mammoth Super Park for Freeze magazine, or not for Freeze magazine, but that's like where it was featured, and you got to do stuff that looks good in a still image.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't think that's important anymore.
You build a very unsafe 140-foot jump that someone could easily die on. So easily. If you look back at those videos, and it's like, this is fucking out of control. Some of the jumps they used to make, like the one where Candide knuckled it, and the jump was like shaped like a ram's head. Yeah. Do you remember that? And he like broke his back and shit. But it's like, dude, who signed off on this?
Yeah. I can't even see the context in which like those style of shoots would come back. Like, who's paying that much money to build something like that today? I don't think you'd see it really.
Red Bull, but yeah. But they're busy doing other stuff now. Like you said, it just kind of moved on. You can only make that jump so many times before you got to do something else.
Yeah.
Did you watch the new Marcus Eater video? I don't know if that's how you say his name, Eater, but
I don't believe so.
It's a Red Bull video where it's the ultimate run. And I'm a big hater. I'll just say that off top. I'm a big hater. Talk a lot of shit in my living room for sure. I keep it to my living room though. That's what some people got to learn. You got to keep the shit talking to your living room. What I was going to say though is though I dislike overproduction and cheesy, like corny sound effects and all that shit, the video that he made with Red Bull is insane. It's the ultimate run, and so it's like him on top of a glacier, drops in, goes through this crazy tunnel, these crevasses, doing tricks the whole time. Then he hits a park on the way down. Then he does like some street shit. Then he does so. Even though big money type of things like that can be lame, like I really think they nailed it. Yeah. Like usually a video like that is something that I would hate on, but that shit was wild.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it was cool for sure.
Word. So I don't know. Let's not get. We'll keep rolling along with your timeline because I really am interested to hear about it before we get too lost in the weeds. So, you move out to Utah from Wisconsin, and what's your first impression? I know personally, I was a little bit overwhelmed when I first went to Salt Lake and saw like, holy shit, this is what the ski scene's like actually like, and these are what mountains are actually like. So, what was your impression when you first got out there?
I was in the dorms. I was in Chapel Glen 801. Shouts out. The door didn't work. The door wasn't ever locked. We could do whatever we wanted. It was totally mayhem. It was awesome. But my suite mate was a guy named Matt Heffernan, who I don't know if you know who that is, but he died tragically. But he was my suite mate, and he was fucking cool on a level that I had never, as far as the ski world goes. So this is like 2009. So 4x9 is like popping, like big time. And he like knew all those guys. And I remember thinking like, holy shit, like my suite mate like knows these 4x9 dudes. Like this is so insane, you know? But then like, of course they're just regular people like anyone else, you know? But having Matt Heffernan be my suite mate was like the way that I became accustomed to like the ski industry, as it were, and like being around people who I had like hero worshiped for so many years. I think that if I had a different suite mate, if Hef wasn't my suite mate, I don't think Vishnu would be a thing, because he exposed me to, just by being my friend and taking me places, because he was like the most likable dude ever. And so he could go anywhere with anyone at any time, you know what I mean? So if you were with Hef, you were cool, basically, as far as the social situation. So that let me, see a little bit behind the scenes of this thing that I was so far removed from in Wisconsin. You know, I was just building rails out of PVC in my yard and shit. And then I move out to Utah, and I'm with Hef, meeting, like I said, these people that I had hero worship for so long, and that was highly, highly, highly influential.
And was that a random suite pairing?
It was my roommate, Jay Kulas, who's now, he doesn't really ski much anymore, but he met Hef on newschoolers.com, and then they linked it up. And yeah, like I said, I mean, if I would have been in a different dorm with someone who was maybe a more of a casual skier, or not in, I hate using that, but it's hard to explain unless you fucking live here, dude. But you're in the ski world when you live in Salt Lake, like you are immersed in ski culture 100% of the time. And it can be really intimidating to go to parties and see the cool guys, and then you maybe are feeling insecure or something, and you think like, oh, the cool guys don't like me. But they don't fucking even know you. They don't give a fuck. They're just at a party. You know what I mean? But then you can work up this thing in your mind where you're like, oh, I'm this outcast. I'm this whatever, which I did definitely do to a point. But what helped me sort of go past that and understand like these people that were my heroes or normal people is just being with Hef, basically. And I got him right there. You can't see. Oh, there we go.
Wow. Yeah.
That's him. Shit happens, but I think that he'd be hyped on what I'm up to for sure. I saw him pretty close to before he died. And yeah, I mean, it's a shame. You got to be careful out there, man, I guess.
Yeah. So you said you were there 2009-ish, height of 4x9. So was the 4x frat, as Steve Stepp describes it, up in full force? Where they have that house on Frat Row?
I don't think I ever went there, but yes, for sure. even though I was with Hef and he like made me feel more comfortable being around like cool guys, you know, I still wasn't fully, you know, so I also I didn't even drink until I never drank alcohol before I got to college.
Wow.
And so I didn't drink my first semester. And so I missed out on a lot of the classic college thing, like fratty shit. I got it all in a couple years later for sure. But no, I never went to that frat house, but the 4x frat, but I definitely heard about it. I definitely attended all the premieres. I saw a lot of things that demystified the ski industry for me, you know? A lot of things that made me just realize that these are just regular people that happen to be really good at one specific thing.
Like, can you think of an example, maybe without including names if you don't want? Like, are you talking?
Sure. Sure. Yeah. So the second night here's a Salt Lake story for you. The second night I was in Salt Lake City, I went to a house party. And everyone was like drunk out on the yard, and there was this skier who I really admired, and viewed as an inspiration for sure. And he was just fucking blackout drunk, like so drunk, and he was screaming. I'll never forget it. He was standing in the front yard screaming, "I can fucking rodeo 12. I can fucking rodeo 12," like that. And then he threw up. And then immediately after, he made out with this girl that was in my dorm that was wearing a My Friend's a Pro tall tee. So that was like the second day in Utah. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, is this how it is? And it turns out that is how it is. I mean, that was a very magnified version, I guess.
Yeah, that's just like a hyper douche right there.
Yeah, exactly. That was like a hyperbolic instance, you know? But that is what it is. Like, the ski industry really is mostly degenerate. I mean, I don't want to say degenerates, but people that like to get fucked up. They like to get fucked up, and they're regular ass people. Mm-hmm. They have bad nights where they do wild shit, and that's just what it is. And yeah, so that was like that was a moment for me where I was like, holy fuck, dude. Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good story. I think that's a good like exemplification of it, especially since you're somebody that didn't drink going into college. So seeing someone that you look up to, not only are they drunk, but they're also like not humble about how good they are. I feel like that's definitely super off-putting.
I mean, he had a point. He could fucking rodeo 12. He had a point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but be cool about it.
I mean, kind of. In hindsight, it was funny, you know, be careful, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I got a problem. I kind of have a problem with the whole be humble thing. I don't know.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on it? You think if you're good, let everybody know?
No, but you don't have to. I'm not saying you have to drunkenly scream about your accomplishments, but I think a lot of times, like, this is really hard to articulate, but especially being from the Midwest, there's a big shame element to being prideful, to the point where people don't do things, they don't pursue things because they don't want it to seem like they're being prideful or something like that. Like, you can sometimes in the Midwest, you can only succeed to a level that other people are comfortable with. If they can't see themselves doing the thing that you're doing, then they don't like that. It's not just a Midwest thing, but it is definitely more pronounced in the Midwest and out here with the Mormons as well. Very judgmental, very talk shit behind your back type of cultures. And so I think the like be humble thing is just an excuse to like not follow your dreams in a way. At the same time, it can be really off-putting if you're a dickhead, of course. But I think the whole like, oh, little old me, like, you know what I mean? I hate that. I hate that shit. Yeah. You know, be proud of what you've done and be confident and pursue the things that you want to do, and don't let the whatever culture that you're raised in, like, dictate. I just know so many people that are that I grew up with that had things that they wanted to do, and they were like afraid of it because they didn't want anyone to be like, oh, look, it's so and so, like, oh, he moved to New York and he's doing that. It's like, you could do that, but you didn't, because you'd rather live in Wisconsin, you know?
Yeah.
So that's
you probably went through that yourself, starting a ski company. I mean, I definitely relate to that sentiment a little bit. I mean, making a podcast.
Oh,
so, I mean,
yeah. Who do you think you are making a podcast? Who do you think wants to listen to you?
Yeah. Well, that's why I try to let my guests speak, because.
Well, that type of shit. Though. I'm not. You know what I mean? Like, it's
I know.
Who does this guy think he is? You know what I mean? It's like I think I'm me. I think I'm a person with ideas who's going to pursue them, and you know, I'm not going to be a douche about it, but like, you got to do stuff.
Yeah, you really do
stuff, bro. You got to do something.
Dude, you really do. Even if you're bad at it. If you're bad at it, just do something.
You gotta do something. You gotta learn skills. You gotta put yourself out of your comfort zone. You gotta get in way over your head and try to figure it out, or you're gonna learn that it'll be some woulda, coulda, shoulda. I could have shit, and it's like, I think sometimes that is the result of the be humble mindset at times.
Yeah.
Because like for you to think that people want to hear a show from you requires you to not be humble. For me, in that instance, like, for me to really believe that people are going to buy the skis that I design, you got to be a little crazy to think that your ideas are good enough for people to give you money or to tune in or to listen, you know? Yeah. But you got to listen to that part of your brain within reason.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people they're not only scared of failure, but they're scared of success. They're scared of, what if it works?
Yes.
Then what?
Yeah.
And that's ultimately the answer. Then what? Well, you just do it. You get better. You try even harder, you know?
Yeah.
Some people get so afraid they don't even try.
Yeah.
And then they get mad because they didn't do shit, and they see someone who's doing something, and it's upsetting. I understand that.
Afraid to succeed. That's definitely something super real that's like never talked about. And also it's something that I'm learning too. Like if you got a solid plan on paper and like everything checks out, then go for it, you know? Like I'm doing like some side projects right now that are like involve some money being put on the line, and it's but they're working out, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's I don't mean this in a gendered way. I mean it in the euphemism way, but it takes balls.
Yeah.
To be yourself and to pursue your ideas, and to not be worried about what other people think, but not to let it affect what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
I think it's important to worry about what people think, because, you know, for me, it's the customers. That's who I care what they think, because they're doing the honor of giving me their money. I mean, it's crazy that these kids give me their money, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I need to realize that they're doing it for a reason, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of success, I guess. I mean, shit, man.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Are you doing big crypto moves or what?
No, it's purchasing a rental property. So it's like the numbers make sense, but it's like shit, when you actually start putting the money down, like putting the money on the line, it becomes super real, and it's scary, but it's like, I don't know, scary's kind of fun, you know?
Dude, some of the most fun days of my life are going to the bank and wiring $100,000 at a time and just being like, it's gone. It's gone. So I got to sell these skis, or
or you're
I
screwed.
don't know what, right? It's not an option. I kind of set my life up that way. Like I'm getting, I ordered 750 pairs of skis this year. I pre-sold 350 of them or so. And they all all the wets, the main flagship ski showed up, and it was like, I got like 500 pairs of skis. I'm in way over my head, but you just got to like set the goal, move the goalpost, get to it, move it, I mean, it's just it's that easy.
Yeah.
But, and this is something I wanted to touch on. Sorry for getting in the weeds here, but this is an agenda that I really would like to get in.
No, go for it.
Nobody really talks about the influence of privilege in the ski industry as it pertains to parental money. Most of the people that that are successful in the ski industry, and not just the ski industry, in like the world, right? It takes money to start a business. So when people talk about what does it take to run a business, to make these choices, whatever, hard work, willpower, ideas, discipline, those are all true. But if my parents, God bless them, hadn't given me an initial investment to start this company, it would not exist. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an expectation that kids have to manage. You need to understand that the people that you put on this pedestal did not get there on their own, no matter what they say. That's how businesses are started. That's how this system that we're in works. People's generational wealth gets passed down from person to person, and people start businesses, and they employ other people, and they have kids, and they give their kids money. But there's this mystique. There's skiers out there that are like that kids. And I don't want to like throw anyone under the bus here, but it's like, you're looking up to someone who, if you're the average park skier in the Midwest, think of, it doesn't really matter, any like big name dude there. And I'm not shaming them for being a rich kid. I am also a rich kid, and I have no like shame in admitting that. Like I think it's way worse that if you're born into privilege and you like deny it, that's like way, way worse. But if you're a park skier in Pennsylvania and you're looking up to these big name skiers, you have to realize that like they're spending like $100,000 a year to travel. Mm-hmm. They don't work.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
They don't work. So you have to understand that if you want to be a quote unquote pro skier, whatever, you got to have big money behind you. And there are few exceptions to that rule. And the problem is kids get it in their head that they're going to be this big name pro skier. I'm going to be a big deal, blah, 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 blah. But they don't realize the money that comes from it, which is what makes someone like Dylan Manley even more impressive, because Dylan Manley has been working a full-time job as a chef for like almost like 7 years now, while filming a street park every season. So he's working from 4 p.m. to 2 a.m., waking up at 8 a.m., filming skiing all day until 3:30, going to work at 4 p.m., getting off at 2 a.m. I mean, he's doing that and there's very few people that really, really do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're just being candid, like the dudes you see in competitions, it doesn't even necessarily have to come from parents. You know, there could be somebody, a mentor takes you under your wing. The people that you see on TV competing have a ton of money supporting that journey. Like that journey does not happen without money.
There's no way they don't. Yeah, there's just no way. And that's fine. Like I said, I'm not shaming them. That's what they're doing with life, and it's cool. I'm just saying, you skier in the Midwest at the tow rope have to manage your expectations accordingly. You need to understand that you're not going to be paying for international flights to Dubai, working on it, practicing on an airbag every day. with 3 different coaches who are video reviewing your tricks and breaking them down for you on the lift. And then and then your masseuse comes after the thing you know what I mean? Like, that's not, it's just not realistic. And so this is kind of in response to people that hit me up and are like, what does it take to be a pro skier, quote unquote? And just don't even bother. Don't bother. Just go skiing for fun. If you happen to get good and someone notices you and you get some free skis, you fucking start making videos, you start selling merch. Hell yeah, dude. If not, who cares? I wish I could have told that to my 17-year-old self, because I put so much pressure on myself to be good at skiing, and I wasn't really.
Yeah.
But I just thought I could like will it into existence. But I didn't go to a ski. And another thing, a lot of the people that you're watching that you admire have a lifetime of coaching. You know, the 10,000 hours adage. Have you ever heard that? You can master something if you work at it for 10,000 hours. Imagine this. This is the lifestyle. And again, disclaimer, not shaming. I'm not hating on this. I'm just saying.
It's the reality of it.
It's reality. You go to a ski academy. Okay, so if you're listening to this and you go to high school, you probably have like 9 periods, something like that. You got a lunch in the middle of the day. At these academies, you go to school for like 3 periods, then you go skiing every day. Mm-hmm. Every single day. There's no way you're not going to get good.
But it's also very, very purposeful skiing. It's not going out and riding with your buddies. It's you're riding with a coach.
Yes. You're riding with a coach who is training. It's fun, I'm sure, but who is training you, who is,
looking at your form.
Do 50 T sets or whatever. Again, I'm not hating on that. I'm jealous. I wish I could have gone. I would have been sick. I mean, I would have gone to any of the ski academies, but I wasn't good enough probably. But there needs to be some leveling of expectations when it comes to people comparing their skiing to other people. You're not on the same. You're not on the same level. Someone who skis every weekend at their local tow rope and then watches someone like Clayton Villa ski and they want to be as good as Clayton Villa, it's like literally never going to happen.
Yeah.
Just a matter of time. Like, you don't have enough time in your life to ski as much as that dude has skied. You just don't.
Straight up.
It's a fact. So don't get down on yourself, I guess, is my ultimate point.
No, but there's almost something admirable about being an average Joe, so to say. You know, just like not even average Joe, being like most people, and being like say you're the kid that only skis after school because you got night skiing and skiing on the weekends. There's something super sick about being the best kid at your home mountain, working within that framework. Like, you're not going to be pro. You might have a following on Instagram, which is sick too. But like, there's something admirable about that. Like, you work within a normal framework, and then you're really good at what you do.
I mean, that's what someone like Tom Wallish or Steve Stepp did. It's not impossible. You know, Tom Wallish and Steve Stepp were like good when they were on the Round Top Riders thing. They were good at Wisp. You know, I was watching them back then because I was on New Schoolers fucking 12 hours a day. So like, I knew who they were, you know. But again, it's the 10,000 hours thing. The reason Tom Wallish got so good so fast is because he skied his freshman year of college, according to legend, as legend would have it. He skied bell to bell every day at Park City.
Yeah.
And that's really what it takes. So rather than that, why don't you just like go to a public park and ski on a bench? Mm-hmm. Who gives a shit? I don't know, dude. I feel like that was one of the points behind Vishnu is accessibility and people not putting a lot of pressure on themselves to be a certain way at skiing, because it's like it just gets too like football for me.
Yeah, like super rigid. Yeah,
like you might as well start recording stats about this shit, dude. It's like, you know, who cares, bro, about like how exact the blunt grab was, or like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
but I also don't know how to ski. Like I said,
Most people don't. Most people are bad at skiing.
yeah. I mean, I can comfortably say that I am a type 2 skier.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a type 2 plus skier. I jokingly say that I'm a type 2. I'm a type 3 skier. I mean, I've been skiing for I live in Utah. I ski 4 times a week. I'm pretty good, but as far as like base technique, not good.
So how did the technique, that Midwest technique, transfer when you actually started riding out west? Like super wide stance. You're hitting the pizza at Alta, and they're just like, bro, what the hell are you doing? Like you're gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, I would never be caught dead at Alta ever in my life. You couldn't cut me a check to go to Alta at this point. I'm good on that. POW skiing is boring. I'm good.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm kind of kidding. I don't know. POW skiing is too hard. It's too tiring.
Exhausting.
I'm good. I can take one. I can take one POW run, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, I was at Park City, tight pants, tall tees, doing pizzas, doing bad front fours, landing back seat, whatever. And eventually I got better with my trick, like able to do more tricks, right? But the base technique of my skiing never really improved. And because of that, I had a lot of wear and tear on my ACLs. If you think about the pizza is the backward twisting motion of ACL tear, where your knee goes like this or like that, and so just the wear and tear over the years is what caused me to eventually do both my knees.
Yeah.
Wish I would have thought about that.
Damn.
I would have thought about that, but I didn't. But it was fun. It's all good.
Yeah.
I learned the hard way that you got to stay on edge out there. But,
yeah. What did you study when you were at school out there?
I have a degree in film.
Okay. So you've always been like a creative guy?
Yeah. I mean, I can remember my first camera I ever bought was a Sony VX2100 in 2002, which is very hip ass camera right now. But back then, it's hip now because it's like kind of looks bad. Back then, it was like it was sick, dude. And I just remember, making all types of little videos that nowadays I would have probably posted on Instagram or something. But I was just like making them just to like make them. And I went to college to go skiing, flat out. As I said before, I'm totally down with being transparent. My dad is a doctor, or he was a doctor. Part of the deal in my family is that he'll pay for your school. And I was like, all right, if my dad's going to pay for my school, if I have this ridiculous privilege that most people don't have, I need to at least finish. And I know myself, and I know that if I went be like an engineer, first of all, I can't like even add numbers. Not even totally clear what a fraction is truly, but like if I went for like engineering or something, I would drop out instantly. But I knew that if I did a film degree, that I could at least finish it, not waste money, and, impress my parents, pretty much was what it was. But in the meantime, I'm going to be skiing every day. So that was cool.
Yeah. And so where does the entrepreneurial side of you come from? Did you ever have an aspiration prior to this to start your own company, or? Yeah, I've been doing stuff like this for a long time. I think the entrepreneurial, I don't know. I think you're kind of born with it. You're kind of born with the instincts, the acumen, if you will. And then also you have like good role models. Like my dad was a business owner. My oldest brother is an independent artist. He's a jazz musician. So I had good role models. And to add on to that, I was always making stuff. I was always like, for example, I used to crochet hats in high school and sell them in my high school. Made like a couple $1,000 just like crocheting hats and selling them. Like I've always had the inclination
to provide people with stuff for money. It's just like hardwired into me, honestly.
Yeah.
But I was so, I was talking about being intimidated by being in the ski community in Salt Lake, like around the cool guys. I felt the same way about business because I was watching the Kanye interview recently, and he was like, my strong suit is not adding or reading. Feel that big time.
That spoke to you. Yeah.
So I always would think like, well, I know what people want as far as products. Like I get it creatively, functionally, I know what it is, but like, I'm so intimidated by this business world. Like I'm not smart enough. I don't even know what a business plan is. I don't know how to do accounting. Like I could never do this, right? That is until, that the saying, like a used car salesman, a sort of slick, fast talking guy that can, get you out of your money. I went to a convention in Las Vegas that I did some video work for, like documenting it. And it was a used car salesman convention. And they had this guy there who, they have the keynote speakers. And his name's Guy Kawasaki. He was an original guy from Apple. And we were in like I was part of the staff. So there's like a green room. I'm probably 22 at this time. Binge drinking insanely. Like I'm buying bottles of Fireball from the Mirage gift shop and like drinking them in the room and then like going down to go to work. It was totally reckless, but I'm drunk as fuck talking to this guy Kawasaki. And I was like, how long are you talking today? And he's like, oh, like 45 minutes. And I was like, oh, word. Because I was drunk. I felt like this is an appropriate question. I was like, how much are they paying you? Which is like not a thing you ask. This is not a nice thing to ask. But he was cool. He was like, like 60,000. And I was like, oh. And then he gets on stage and his presentation was 45 minutes of the most blatantly obvious shit I have ever heard in my life. Like sales techniques, marketing techniques, things like that. He was saying things that I just intrinsically understood already, but I just didn't realize it. And I had like this awakening moment where I was like, I could do that. I could do business. Like I just realized in that moment that like whatever it is that I got, it's in my head already. I don't have to learn it at all. And that was a huge moment. Like
that's awesome.
Just seeing an auditorium full of people. It was basically like seeing an auditorium full of people, and I'm like filming it, and at the same time, I'm like, you motherfuckers paid $2,700 each to have this guy tell you to smile when you're talking to customers. Are you fucking kidding me? So that was like a big moment where things just, again, it's all about like the perceived barriers to entry being removed.
Yes.
Just being aware in the moment that the barrier is being removed in front of your eyes and using that to self-actualize, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, I think, I like what you're saying, because it's like there's this mystique to success, You see somebody that's already gotten there, and you're like, damn, I could never do it. But then,
how did they do it?
Yeah. And then it's like they had to start somewhere. You just start by asking questions. I'm going through this rental thing right now, and it's like, they're like, oh, we're going to charge you these points on the mortgage to lock in the rate. And I don't know what that is. So I just ask, what the hell does that mean? And they explain it to you, because everyone starts out as an average Joe that doesn't know anything. And then you just you'd ask questions and you listen, and then all of a sudden you know what you're doing. And then you could act like the cool guy that knows what he's doing.
Well, by the way, the only people that would like ridicule you for asking questions about that are probably not successful.
Absolutely.
Because they are the people that are successful know that they at one time didn't know shit and still are probably keenly aware that they don't know shit. I know I am. Mm-hmm. The more I learn, the more I realize how fucking incompetent I am in a general sense. And that's the mark of a good business person, in my opinion. If you were to ask that dude what a mortgage rate was and he would like ridicule you, fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the point I was going to make. Anyone that's successful, that's really riding you for not knowing what you're doing is a prick. Like, they just suck.
Right. 100%. Agreed.
Yeah.
Like, the vanishing of the mystique is the key. Mm-hmm. And learning how to view the people you look up to as human beings, both their positive traits and negative. And like my good friend Luke Roberts would say, co-founder of the brand, you got to know what not to do. And that's knowing what not to do is more important than knowing what to do, I think. Mm-hmm. As far as business acumen goes, as far as instinctual moves.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. So you've always been an entrepreneur. It's just built in.
I kind of always just had the inkling, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. Like it like a lot of people, like a lot of businessmen or like a lot of entrepreneurs, that they always say like, yeah, it was just something that you kind of just naturally deviated towards since you were younger. So when did you come up with the idea like, I'm gonna start my own ski company? Because that is not something that's easily done. At least it looks like that from the outside.
Well, it started with some of my friends from the U. My friend Kale, who is a co-founder of the company, who we've since parted ways in 2017, but at the time we were still friends. And 2009 to 2014 or so, him and I were, seeing these 4x9 videos, seeing stepped videos, and thinking we should try to do something like this. We were nowhere near good enough at skiing. Again, no coaching. Same thing I was describing before. Yeah. Totally did not understand the skill level difference. But we were out there jumping off shit, hitting rails, whatever. And we just sort of built this need to like gain recognition, I guess, for skiing, which is a tricky thing. But him and I were sponsored by Elon Skis because we wrote an email to them and they just like didn't know any better, I guess, and just gave us skis, which is hilarious. But that I was fucking sponsored by Elon for a season. But then, I tore my ACL and some shit happened and whatever. And then one day we were just, me and him were like, let's start a ski company. We can do it, But it was a product of like 5 years of making videos in sort of this web of people who later went on to become like part of Vishnu, but it just wasn't coalesced. It wasn't. We basically just took what we were already doing and put a name on it. Mm-hmm. Well, I put the name on it.
Well, at least like the essence of it, right? Like you didn't have any manufacturing supply chain or anything at that point. It was just kind of like the aura of what Vishnu was, right?
Yeah, the ethos, like the basic tenet of, like I was saying before, skiing with your brain. Where your skills are lacking, you ski with your brain. It's basically the founding tenet, I guess.
Yeah.
And we met a guy named Chris Trueneck, who now is the guy that founded Daymakers. Yeah. If you know Daymaker Touring. He's the closest thing to a genius that I've ever met in my life. I know people throw that word around a lot, but he's a dude that can basically visualize and draw and then create in real life pretty much anything you can think of. And he built a ski press out of a plastic bag and a refrigerator motor that was like vacuum based. So it sucked all the air out of the bag and then pressed the ski together. They were pieces of shit. They broke instantly, but the idea was there. It was like, damn, we can do this. We can make a ski that's different from other skis with a different take, I guess, on how skiing was at the time. And then we found a guy who made them in Salt Lake named Howard Wu, who makes Wu Banger skis, which is like a custom ski building thing. He doesn't do it anymore, but and then he made us 10 pairs of skis. The money that I got from that, the money for that was money that I asked my dad for, that I am now paying back $100 a month every month, like a good boy. And we took those 10 pairs of skis, and we basically assembled a group. Dylan Manley, Luke Roberts, who are still with company, still dear friends of mine. And we went and we filmed our first video, which was called Gas. And that came out in 2014. And that was the beginning. That was truly the beginning. But things didn't really take off until I stopped drinking. After that, then the company was in my control. And the intellectual property is all mine. The original ski design, all the imagery you've ever seen of Vishnu, all the videos, everything. And so then when it was solely on my shoulders was when I could finally, up until that point, I can honestly say I never fully tried at anything in my life, ever. Mm-hmm. I got good grades in high school, didn't try really. Went to college, was high, drunk, on pills, fucking up, going skiing, did fine, graduated. It wasn't until, again, fear of success is what it was. And up until that point, 2017, when Vishnu was fully on my shoulders, that is when I was like, okay, I've never really tried at anything for real. Here we go, you know?
And then, and so was the quitting or the toning back, the drinking, was that intentional or was that a byproduct of having more responsibility?
I mean, I quit drinking because I was headed down a bad path. I tore my left knee in 2012 because I was abusing a prescription for Klonopin that I had. By the way, I'm totally down to I just want to, like, as a precursor, like, I'm not shy about mental health and like my shit. I've talked about it to enough professionals now that it does not bother me one bit. So don't be shocked if I am flippant about certain things, you know? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I was abusing my Klonopin script because I did have chronic anxiety, but I abused it, and I was skiing on a level I shouldn't have been skiing at because I wasn't aware that I was in danger, which for anyone that's taken benzos, they can relate. Like, you just don't recognize danger the same. You're liable to do some wild shit, you know? So I got hurt then, kept doing drugs, kept drinking. And then I was drunk doing some street skiing in 2018, and I tore my right one. And in the recovery process, I probably drank. I got surgery in June, like June 1st, and I stopped drinking on July 15th. Roughly, I was in I honestly, I think it was July 15th. I don't really know what day it was because I was in the midst of a very serious, like, binge, bender type shit. It's not cute. There's a lot of glorifying of debaucherous behavior in the ski world. It's always been like that. Some people get to a certain age and they can turn that shit off. I'm not one of those people, I couldn't turn it off. And so, I'm talking drinking in the morning, drinking in the daytime. I just started doing clothes more at the time, like making clothes more. And I'm working from home. So, it's 5 PM and I've drank 13 beers that day and I'm just fucked up and it's light out, And And I just started thinking about the fact that I'm not trying to be dramatic here. You know, I was not in a situation like you'd see on Intervention or whatever, where I'm like having a seizure if I don't drink. It wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. But I just realized that if I kept this up, I wasn't going to make it past 40. Like the timeline of that type of drinking, it doesn't get better. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't, unless you make a serious change. And the big catalyst was I had to go make a wire payment. I had to pay this money for skis to Hong Kong. And I had forgotten that I had to do it. It was like midweek, and I had forgotten that it was due the next day. And it's probably like noon, and I am fucking drunk, like fucking drunk. And I was like, oh fuck, I got to go to the bank. So I had to take an Uber, drunk as fuck, to the bank in the middle of the day to make this very important payment that, you know, the account numbers are complex. There's these codes that route it to different countries, and you got to make sure that everything, and if you fuck that up, that money is gone. You can't get it back. It's just
vanishes. Yeah.
It's in someone's bank account in Hong Kong, and good luck, you know? And so as I was waiting for the Uber to take me home, I was like, I'm going to fuck this. If I keep going like this, if I keep drinking like this like rock star heroic level of drinking that I had like convinced myself was cool, I guess, I'm going to blow it in some huge way, whether it's behavioral, whether it's like getting a DUI, whether it's, you know, doing more hard drugs. Like, I just realized in that moment, I was like, damn, I'm fucking up. If I want this company to be right and to do it the way that I need to do it, I got to stop drinking right now. Mm-hmm. It was around July 15th, something like that. Wow. So I pretty much just quit. Straight up. I didn't go to meetings. Like I said, my brother had some, without getting too personal, my brother had some problems. My uncle, a lot of my cousins have been to AA. It's you know, it's a family illness, as they say. I'm not knocking AA. I think it works for people. But I was able to just sort of white knuckle mind over matter that shit. It sucked. It really sucked. I basically didn't leave my house for a year. Pretty much. Yeah. I realized that I had to, if you're going through something like that, like whether it's alcohol or other substances, like you need to cut yourself off completely from not just the substance, but the people.
That's exactly what I was going to ask you. Did you find new friends?
Oh, I mean, I lost many friends. Yeah. Some relationships that I have refounded, you know, later on, where I went back and I was like, yo, sorry, I fucking fell off the face of the earth. Like I had to do this. And they understand, you know. Some people didn't understand. Some people were mad at me or whatever. But it's something I had to do, something that I encourage people to do. If you have a drinking problem, you know it. And you can do better. You can. Mm-hmm. What I meant to say as well, is I've been medicated for depression since I was 16, I believe. And I think that if I wasn't properly medicated when I tried to quit drinking, it wouldn't work. That's the only reason that it did work, because I was taking my meds, but then drinking heavily, which is a depressive, causes depression symptoms. And then you're drinking more to treat the symptoms that you're causing, right? So the meds aren't working. And not only that, you're making it worse by drinking, you know? But then when you stop drinking and you're properly medicated, if that's something that you need to do, that is when you can really self-actualize, realize that you don't need to be drunk all the time. which is shocking, which is, for me, was shocking for a while. It was hard, really hard. I still struggle sometimes in social situations.
I mean, yeah, like learning how to drink properly is definitely a huge part of like functioning in society. But some people, like, it's just you can't do it, and there's nothing wrong with that, but you got to know yourself.
Doesn't work. Doesn't work for me. Doesn't work. Big time. But yeah, like not drinking was definitely like that took Vishnu to the next level, because now I'm on all the time. I'm never off. The reason I was drinking is because I was trying to shut my brain off. Now it's been over 3 years. I haven't been relaxed in those 3 years, and I probably never will be. I'll probably never feel truly relaxed ever again.
Yeah.
But the trade-off is that I'm not going to die when I'm 40. I'm not going to kill someone driving my car drunk, etc. I'll take that.
What do you think of like the glorification of that lifestyle in media, like especially in ski media, and especially with the type of skiing that like really your company or the brand really represents, because like you don't really see Olympic athletes really posting videos of them staying up till 5 a.m. Black.
Yeah, they just don't post it. Yeah, they don't post the videos.
Yeah, they don't post the videos, exactly. Yeah. So what do you think about the glorification of it in like especially like urban movies?
I think it's a part of counterculture that's been around since all throughout America, basically American history, really. Like the counterculture of the thing that was the thing in the Roaring 20s, like rebelling, and I think that's natural to want. It's fun to do bad things, like that little kid said in that video one time. I want to do hood rat stuff with my friends. It's fun to do bad things. You guys got to be honest with yourself. You got to be okay with realizing that you're not okay, I guess. It's hard to do. Hard to do. I don't know. It's entertainment. I have a hard time coming down on it one way or another, because I put videos of people smoking weed, clips of people smoking weed in our videos. I put clips of people drinking and carrying on and being crazy, because that's what's happening in front of me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I go back to the thing I was talking about at the beginning of this, where I need to be careful about who I'm influencing.
Well, that's exactly what I was asking, because the younger crowd loves you, loves the company, loves everything about it.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
And I see that footage, and I think the same thing that you said. This is entertainment,
Yeah.
Like it fits the aesthetic of the video, and it reflects real life to a degree. But what are these? Like you said, like these kids don't know the difference between entertainment or what it takes to make it, So that's what I wonder.
Their brains aren't developed enough to understand the difference, truly. I mean, it's something I think about every day.
Yeah.
Definitely. Is being, like I said, trying to be a good influence, but at the same time, like being a bad influence is what sells product sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's sort of something that you have to grapple with. It's like a case by case basis, man. I don't know. Like, hopefully kids that see like a Zoot Space video or see like a child labor video and see people like drinking and carrying on and shit, like have parents that teach them limitations and teach them responsibility and all that. Some of them don't. And it's the parent's job, but it's also my job as the person who's in control to be responsible for that shit. So, and I am I feel responsible.
Yeah,
for sure. And in my personal life, though, that's the thing, because on the one hand, I'm the Vishnu guy, but on the other hand, I'm Emmett Davis, the person. So in my personal life, I am very proactive about telling the younger people around me to be careful. For real. Like, this shit can get out of control. very fast. It goes, the flip from fun to sad is quick.
Oh yeah.
It's really quick. And it can happen without you even knowing it. And then you're like, oh, this is sad what I'm doing, you know? So I try to in my personal life, like, get kids to be, not kids, but young adults that I'm supporting with skis or that are my friends or whatever. Because I'm around these 19-year-old shitheads all the time. And I try to be a good influence to tell them, you know, like, be in control. Drinking to oblivion is not how anybody did anything. It's fun to have fun, right? But like I said, the flip from fun to sad, be aware. It's like a speed bump. You gotta slow down over the speed bump, lest you know, hit your bumper, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't ask you that as like a moral judgment, saying you shouldn't put this in videos. I just know that that's something that you probably consider. So I wanted to see
100%,
the thinking.
100%.
Yeah,
100%. It's also my job to document what's going on in front of me at the same time. So is that hypocritical of me to encourage kids to drink responsibly while also documenting them being irresponsible? Yes, that is hypocritical of me for sure. But things are not so black and white all the time.
Yep, exactly. There's a lot of conflicting things that you gotta.
People are dealing with. A lot of people that are out of control with their substances are dealing with things.
Yeah.
That they're not able to deal with any other way. And so it's hard to tell someone who literally doesn't care if they live or die that they shouldn't drink. Like, it just doesn't make sense. So I don't really have an opinion either way, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's definitely...
It's like the number one thing that I think about these days.
Yeah.
Is am I leaving a good mark? Or not?
Well, your brand has such like it's like a would you consider it a lifestyle brand? I feel like that's a douchey, buzzwordy thing to say, but it really is like it's kind of like it's not, I ride these skis because it's got the best design, it's got the best tech. It's more of like a cultural thing.
I was just gonna say like a cult thing.
Yeah, it really is kind of like a cult, and it's got a good logo to be a cult.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ski company at the end of the day. But I think that I can relate to this. Being a young person, being the only person in my high school that skied, is you are looking for a way to define yourself. You're looking for a way to stand out from your friends, to have an identity. And that is a keystone of marketing technique, is to sell an identity. That could be really, really cynical. Sorry, my phone's ringing.
No, it's all right.
That can be really cynical as far as like big marketing goes. Selling people the image of themselves that they want to be. I just try to make cool products that I like, presented in a not pretentious way. I try to capture what's going on in front of me, what I'm thinking about, what I'm interested in as far as media and imagery and all that shit. It happens to have a cultish type of vibe because that's what interests me. And if people identify with that and they want to build that as their identity and make it their lifestyle, feel free. Feel free. I'm just here to make videos, make quality products that are affordable, and try to leave a good legacy in the ski world, and be a real person more than anything else. So I wouldn't say it's a lifestyle brand. No, it's a ski brand.
Yeah, that people latch onto and then turn into.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I did that. What were you going to say? Go ahead.
I was kind of in a transitionary thought, but it's like, yeah, like people. I've seen this a lot with. It's just any brand, you know. People really latch onto when you're trying to define yourself, some people really define themselves by like, oh, like I only wear Nikes, I only have an iPhone, I only listen to this type of music. So it's just like, you're not intentionally doing anything other than putting forth what you want to put forth. People are latching onto it because that's what people naturally do, and people naturally build identities around like things that speak to them.
I'm able to my skill, if nothing else, my skill is really being able to tap in and vividly remember what I thought was cool when I was 15 and why. And that is my whole strategy. So if people are latching onto it, then that means I'm doing it right.
And that's a good skill, because that's something that's hard to pull back from the memory, at least in my experience.
For me, it's not, and I have a theory why. I think that a big symptom of depression is memory loss that people don't really talk about. Memory problems, I guess. From the age of like 14, when serious major depressive episodes set in for me, trigger warning here. We're talking about wanting to kill myself, hopelessness, I'm not going to live to be 18, dark, not melodramatic, like real. From that point on, until I started being medicated when I was like 17, I think I said 16 earlier, but it was more like 17. I don't really remember, I don't remember much. I don't even really remember much past like 10 years old, I guess.
Wow.
It seems like, though, the memories that I do have are extremely vivid. And so I can remember doing things and going places and seeing things. It's almost like in my mind, like I'm there again.
Wow.
It's almost like the ideas are like highlighted, like a textbook, like a used textbook. And that's where I get my ideas from. I think of things from back then, like one of the most popular graphics we ever had was the oranges on the skis. I don't know if you ever saw those, but that was one of our most poppin' graphics ever. And the reason I picked those, when it comes to like art and design, one of the hard things is picking what is a good idea or not, and reasons why it's a good idea or not. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with when they're designing things. Is like, I have all these ideas, but how do I know which one is the good one? And the way it is for me is, if I have an idea and it triggers a specific vivid memory from childhood, I go with it. And so when I thought of the oranges, I thought of being like 8 years old in Scottsdale, Arizona, and standing in my Aunt Lisa's front yard. It's a warm night, and the orange trees in her yard, they're painted white to reflect the sun. And I just remember looking at this white orange tree with the oranges just like weighing down the branches like super heavily. And that's just like a snapshot in my memory. But that's what I use to like justify my ideas. That sounds fucking insane, but it's like how I justify the things. Because you can drive yourself crazy if you have ideas and you're not sure if they're good or not. You can drive yourself fucking nuts. So I just pick a thing that sparks a distinct memory of mine, and I go with it. And I think the reason I have those distinct memories is because I have room in my brain, because I don't remember a ton of my life. I've also had a lot of head injuries, so that might have something to do with it. Right around when I started to enter puberty, like 12, 13, I had 2 pretty serious concussions. So that might have a lot to do with it. But even now today, it's like a highlighter. It's like I'm going through a Rolodex in my brain, and one of them is just glowing, and I pick that. And that's the ideas I go with, and they work. If that makes sense to you, God bless. I don't get it, but I just know that it works. You know what I mean?
And that's incredible. And I think it's interesting that other people like you. So you'll go through this mental, this like library almost.
Yeah.
And you'll pick out the best stuff, but then that's the stuff that works. So it's almost like it's speaking to something deeper, It's like you're tapping into something that's common across people that like, oh yeah, other people are going to also identify with this thing.
Yeah.
What I think of it. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm like triangulating it with deep highlighted memories. And then I bounce that off 15-year-old me. And then I bounce that off 30-year-old me. And if the triangle completes, you got yourself an idea.
And that's the V in Vishnu.
Oh my God. That's it, baby. That's it. I've never really articulated that before. That's something I've thought about a lot. Mm-hmm. Because when you crank out ideas like I do, creative or whatever, sometimes people ask you, like, how do you get your ideas? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. So I really had to think about it for a long, long time. And I think that's what I settled on.
Are you a sit down and get creative type of guy, or do you just go through your day and then you latch onto like the spark of creativity?
It's almost like a shelf in my brain that things just get put on. And I only think of good things. I only think of cool ideas when I'm not paying attention.
So like a grocery store, you think of something?
Yeah. Driving. Not really in the shower because I'm usually singing. Playing basketball. A lot of my best ideas I've ever had have been playing basketball for just hours and hours and hours. Just that repetitive, almost meditative motion. Dribble, shoot, dribble, shoot, can just get your get the hamster wheel that is my mind running, and then I'll have something and the highlighter goes and I'm like, whoa, oh, there it is,
Yeah.
It's almost like some autism shit. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But I just know, like, I've been doing it for long enough now that I for sure have some ideas that are better than others, but I very rarely have something that doesn't work like at all. Yeah. It's rare. They can't all be winners, obviously. Yeah. But I've managed to sort of, curb the misses, I guess.
Well, so you don't have a super diversified inventory, like generally it looks like you're working with like 1 to 3 models of skis. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
So like there's not a ton of wiggle room for error. So have you had products that have been a complete flop that have cost you money, or has everything generally, at least let you broke even?
Oh, it all goes.
Every time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it all goes. There's been like things that I made mistakes on that kept me up at night for months that probably nobody noticed, but it bothered me a lot. So there's like black eyes, if you will. Yeah. On some years, like some top sheets. But the whole strategy of the company is the tight control of inventory. And when you have an extremely tight control of inventory, it's difficult to fuck up, like how you said, because I'm not keeping a ton of stuff on hand like ever. I have skis in my possession from, pre-COVID, October to January.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good.
That's it.
Yeah.
And that's like the point. I'm not saying I like invented that by any means. I am basically copying Supreme, who in turn were copying companies like Louis Vuitton, Burberry, the original limited edition luxury brands. Supreme sort of took that, ran with it. And then I realized in the skiing world that that wasn't really being represented. Other than J Skis to an extent.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
To an extent. But he's in a totally different demographic. As far as age and as far as the types of people that are buying his stuff. So again, I'm not saying that I invented this. I am saying that the way that I run a ski company is objectively the best, most financially sustainable way to do it. Having limited inventory, pre-order to make up the money for the order, doing made to order clothes. So I make a sample. I don't really have anything on hand, but I embroider a beanie, a single one. I put it on the site. I say this beanie is for sale. 2 days after that, I say I'm taking this beanie down tonight. So if you want it, grab it. Then I make it within a week. I take all the orders. I order all the blanks, embroider them, send them out. There's no wasted inventory of any kind.
Mm-hmm. And you get all the money up front.
Yeah. Nowadays, they call that a lean startup in business schools, right? But like I was saying with the Guy Kawasaki thing earlier at the used car salesman convention, it's just something I knew would work. I didn't have an option. I didn't have $1 million to open my own factory. I had like $10,000, if that. So it was out of necessity. And a lot of the things I think that people would see from Vishnu that are like pioneer-ish, whatever. I don't know what to call it, but like, the first to do whatever. It's out of necessity. The reason I only have 3 different skis is out of necessity. I don't have the money to make a full 10 line of ski. I just don't.
So where's the cost coming from for that? So you get all the money up front, and so it's made to order. So what would be the cost of having 10 different skis? Is it paying the factory to have like that blueprint on hand to make it whenever you want it?
Yeah, making all the molds, doing all the machining. The molds we use are aluminum. They're expensive as fuck. They're like $4,000. So, I'm into the slow rollout as far as business goes. Seeing the big picture. And when you are very limited with your inventory and you are limited with what you release, when you do things that are almost expected from other ski companies, it's a novelty. Here's an example. Most ski companies, when they start, they got a park ski, they got an all mountain ski, they got a big mountain ski, they got a everyday cruiser, blah blah blah. When we started Vishnu, we had 1 ski, 2 sizes. That's it for 3 years. So when we introduced the wide, which is the 106 millimeter underfoot, very creative name. Thank you. When we introduced the wide, because we'd already set this precedent of only having 1 ski, introducing a wider ski, which is like what most companies would do in the first place, it becomes novel at that point. So you set the bar you set people's expectations, and then you do things that are expected of other companies, but then not expected of you because of what you've already established. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
So then
you're like speaking to what you need rather than what's expected.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the slow roll is really what's gotten Vishnu like here, I guess. Mm-hmm. Not getting too extended, not trying to do too much at once. We released the key. The key is the new ski for this season. They're going to be on sale on Sunday at noon. Which I don't know when this is going to come out, but that's Friday the 13th, I believe.
Oh yeah, this will definitely be after those already released.
Okay, well, if you already bought your key, if you're listening to this and you bought some keys, fuck yeah, dude. They're really fun. But it's just important to keep people on their toes and to not do what is expected of you, I guess.
Dude, I got to say, I love your website.
Nice.
And if anybody looked at your website, they'd be like, this is not the website of a ski company. Like, this is so simple, you know, it's exactly what you need and nothing more, you know?
It's not for your parents.
Definitely not. They would look at this and be like, this guy is stealing my money. Because
Exactly.
they're like, where's the about us tab? Where's the blah, 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 you know? But it's exactly what you need. These are the skis. Contact us.
Utilitarian.
Yeah.
Indeed. Which is something that I appreciate. And you notice that, like, if you do the least, so to speak, in the right way, it sticks out. And that's what you're noticing. If you do the least in the wrong way, it's perceived as lazy. If you do the least correctly, it stands out.
It's seen as efficient.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
I set a bar on the ground. Fuck it. No, I'm just kidding.
So do you have any employees, or is it a one-man band?
The LLC is controlled by me, and my former partner Kale still owns part of it, and then Dylan Manley is also a part owner because he's a co-founder. There's people that work with me and help me immensely. It's pretty much like if you're affiliated with the company, like, you're helping in some way. Whether that be, like, right now, Kyson is in my living room, like, sewing tags on beanies. It's like shit like that. And I pay people for that. I pay people, as of this year, I'm paying Cal Carson 10% of his earnings on his pro model, which is pretty good. Most companies do like 4 to 6 in there somewhere. I did 10 because he's my fucking boy. But as far as like employees, it's just me. And I think it's a group effort. I would be remiss to not say that. Like, I wouldn't be here without the collective efforts of all of my friends and everyone who's associated with the company, you know. But ultimately, I am the coffee filter. I am there to listen and filter and determine what to do in that regard. But I think something that people don't understand about Vishnu, when you buy a t-shirt from Vishnu, I printed it, right? When you direct message Vishnu and someone answers, it's me, right? When you get your skis in the mail and they have the handwritten mantra on the ski bag, I wrote that. When you get skis and they have this thank you note, I wrote that. All of these. I'm doing it. And I think that's something that is maybe not understood, because I don't go out of my way to like point that out. I just do it. Mm-hmm. But I think that's an important thing. Like, be nice to me because it's just me out here, for real.
Yeah. It's like it really is it is similar to the J Skis model, but without you being the face as much as Jason Leventhal is the face of J Skis. Like, his is literally named after him, and yours is like, unless you knew that it was you wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, you want
no disrespect to Jason Leventhal, personal hero of mine, mm-hmm. responsible for some of the biggest ideas currently in skiing, and people in skiing as well, from line to full tilt, etc. But yeah, the point of this is not to make it about me. I had my chance to shine as a skier, and I just wasn't good enough, and I had to come to terms with that, for sure. And now it's my job to shine the spotlight on other people. You know, I have recently, I will admit, been opening up pulling back the curtains a little bit, maybe. This is the first interview I've done in a long time. I've turned a couple down just for that. Hey, maybe it comes from that humble thing we were talking about. Maybe that's what it is. That Protestant farmer humble shit. Maybe that's what it is. But recently, I've been pulling back the curtain a little bit, going on Instagram Live, but none of it is like, it's not like contrived, you know? I'm not like in a sound studio that I rented to like talk to you. I'm like in a fucking storage pod writing on skis. Like I tape my phone to the wall and I'm talking to you. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it's different than other more contrived marketing. Cause that's some hot shit right now, is like, the person behind the curtain, you know, the guy running it. Mm-hmm. Let's see him, you know. But I try to make it like authentic, I guess.
Yeah, like just be yourself, not like building up a persona.
Yeah, it's tough because I'm in a character right now. Mm-hmm. Everyone plays a character in their life, you know. It just so happens that I live in a city built around skiing in some ways. And so I'm never off. I'm always the Vishnu guy.
Do kids recognize you, or do people that you don't know personally recognize you as the Vishnu guy?
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And what's that experience like?
Weird, but good. I mean, it's fine. I can, like I said, I can put it on, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I'm like being fake, because I'm not. Any kid that comes up to me that wants to talk about skiing, I'm down to talk about skiing, you know? Mm-hmm. I am just very keenly aware of the fact that I've met some of my heroes and they suck. And I never want that to be the case. I never want someone to meet me and be like, I was buying Vishnus for 6 years. That guy was a douchebag. That would break my fucking heart, dude. So to a certain extent, you know, not every day, and not, you know, you're not on your best. Sometimes I'm at Woodward and I'm fucking stoned, straight vibing. And some kid comes up to me and starts talking. I got to snap out of it. I got to get back into representative mode. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that can be difficult sometimes. Or if I'm tired, like lately, I've been very tired. So I'm working endlessly.
At weird hours.
And so when kids come up to me and they ask me questions, I'm going to answer, of course, and I'm going to be nice. But there's certain days you got to like suck it up.
Yeah.
You know, you don't be a prima donna. Don't be a bitch. Be nice. Those are actually the only 2 rules about this shit. There's 2 rules when I give you skis. Our skis are pretty durable, so the first one is not that much of an issue. But the first one is, if your skis break, don't put it on social media. The second rule is, if I hear you being rude to a child, I will fucking kill you. Don't do it. That's it. And I abide by those myself, you know?
Yeah, I like those rules a lot, especially the second one. Like I even in like as early as high school, I remember like calling people out at the mountain that were like rude to kids. It was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like you want somebody to stop skiing because you want to feel cool? That is the lamest thing you could ever do.
Absolutely unacceptable. And it doesn't happen with people that ski for Vishnu, or they no longer ski for Vishnu. That's very, very important.
Yeah.
Both for me personally and for the brand, you know?
Yeah. And so here's the question that all the kids listening are wondering. How do you become a skier sponsored by Vishnu? And do you even do that?
It's a good question. Generally, this is going to sound like pretty douchey, I guess, but I'll find you, kind of. But that's also not the case. It's also been the case where some random person sends me a video and I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Okay, generally speaking, let me give you the archetype for someone that I would be willing to give free skis to. Because that's what you mean when you say sponsorship, right?
Yeah.
Let's be clear here for the kids. You're talking about, what does it take to get a free pair of skis from me? Okay. because people say that they're sponsored, whatever, but they just have like a pro form deal that you get at a shop. Like there's levels to this shit, you know?
So we'll go with the most common one, which is free gear.
Okay. You DM or email me. You don't write a form email. You write a real email like a fucking human being, please. And you probably already have bought a pair of Vishnus, most likely. And you send me a video of you skiing street on those Vishnus. And odds are good that I will, at the very least, cut you a good deal. Or give you skis if you want that. I don't, it's hard to say that I don't care about social media analytics, but I try not to, because most of them are fake. Fake in the sense that they don't sell products necessarily. This is an old-fashioned viewpoint, but I am a firm believer that the thing that sells skis is in person. Your friend has a pair. They happen to fit your feet. You try them. The skis are great. And then you also happen to enjoy the social media shit. It's just like it's like a bonus. It's like a garnish to a meal, you know? Mm-hmm. So what I want from you as someone who's getting free skis from me is not necessarily to have a social media presence, but to have a real life presence. I want someone who is skiing a lot, someone who is known at their home resort for not only being skilled, but being cool is too broad of a word, but like supportive, engaging, that kind of thing.
Somebody that's a presence at their mountain.
Exactly. So that's much more important to me. First of all, don't give me your comp results. Don't care. Good for you. No, that's cool. Good for you. I'm happy for you that you had the balls to fucking hit some big ass jumps and do tricks that I could never do. But that's not what this is about for me. What has always been the basis of this company is street skiing projects, videos, because that's what lends credibility amongst group. Are you familiar with the ABC marketing, that group A, group B, like early adopters, that whole marketing?
The diffusion of innovation.
Yeah. So to sum it up, it's group A, group B, group C. Group A is the early adopters. They're the people that pick the trends and develop them. Group B are the people that are looking at group A, that see the trends that are already being developed by group A, and then group C is the mainstream. So when we make street skiing videos, what lends our brand credibility is that group A, though small, really has an appreciation for street skiing. Even though our videos get like 10,000 views each video, all 10,000 of those views are people that really fuck with this, that like to go shovel in a city, be cold, fall on concrete. And then group B sees that group A is lending credibility to the video and so on. So even though you're not reaching the biggest group of people by doing street skiing, the people that you are reaching are very important and are likely to spend money in really. And so I need that from you if you want to ski for Vishnu. I'm glad that you're good at park skiing. That's very cool. Okay. But the people that I'm giving product to are seriously risking their safety because they want to, because it's fun. I've done it. You know, I'm a couple surgeries deep. Like I've done it. The credibility comes from those street videos, which might not make sense to someone who's like a casual park skier, but it just sort of trickles down that way, you know? Mm-hmm. So that's what I would say. Make me a minute and a half video of of you doing street skiing in your town. You don't have to fucking 450 onto a forking. Go hit a rail in your town. Go ski at the public park. Whatever. Because that is what this company is truly built around. Mm. For sure. I can't tell you how many people have hit me up and they're like, got competition results, a bunch of different double flips, shit like that. And I'm like, no, I'm good. People that you would expect to be sponsored in the classical sense, but they just don't fit with what I'm doing. So I just say no.
Yeah. I love it. I mean, you just gave them the blueprint for how to get sponsored. Like, a lot of times people say, don't even bother making a sponsor me tape. Like, show that you could provide value to the brand. You are offering the classic. If you send me a sponsor me tape that matches our values, then you're good.
I watch him, dude. I watch him. I mean, I'm not going to say that I respond to every direct message I've ever gotten, but I would say it's above 95%. And if you send me a video, I am watching it, no matter how bad it is. No offense. I'm watching it because you never know.
Yeah.
You never know. There's like this kid that I put on this season. His name's Raf Diaz. He's from Quebec, and he just emailed me. And the thing is, if you already have a pair of Vishnus in the video that you're showing me, I'm much more inclined, because I know that you see what's happening and you understand it. You saw the videos on YouTube of street skiing. You said, I can do that. I want to do that. Then you bought the skis. Then you went and did it. That shows me that you are a capable representative, Mm-hmm. So that goes a long way. But yeah, this kid, Raf Diaz, he sent me his street clips and some of his park clips. And he's like, I bought 2 pairs of skis 2 years in a row. And I was like, this is a fucking special dude. Like, I've seen enough skiing in my life. He's young. He's like probably 18, I think. It's a little rough around the edges, but but so is Cal Carson. When I first saw Cal Carson skiing, he was rough around the edges, So you never know who's going to see what you're doing. So just do it, I would say. Yeah. The caveat, though, is that you should not ski to get sponsored. That is the number one way to ruin it for yourself. I know so many people who don't ski anymore at all because they never got sponsored, and it broke their little heart because they didn't manage their expectations about being a quote unquote pro skier, like we were talking about earlier. So don't ski to get sponsored. Go out, have fun, film a video. If you send it to me and I don't give you skis, film another one. I don't know. That's not the point. It's not to get free shit. The point is to set goals for yourself and achieve them. Whether that's a back 2, whether that's a fucking switched up 10, whatever. That's what skiing's all about, is setting goals for yourself and achieving them for your own satisfaction, because you like it, because you want to do it. And then you move outward into, can I get support for this? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some people don't. Some people aren't doing it because they like it.
Yeah, they start with the free stuff just because it's cool.
Precisely. Which I was guilty of myself, It took me until... Yeah. But it's a bad road. It's an empty road. Mm. It just leaves you bummed out. Because then you think, as a young person, again, because your brain is underdeveloped, no offense to you all, you lovely children, I care about you a lot, but your brains are undercooked. And you may realize, you may achieve your dream of being sponsored. And it's not as cool as you think. For real. You still have to work you may get free skis, but you still work at a restaurant. Not knocking that, but it's tough. I've done it, You're still a busser. And then you can get to a point in your life where you're like, well, I'm getting these free skis. That's all I ever wanted, right? Oh, I forgot to get an education. Oh, I forgot to develop good relationships in my life. You know what I mean? So you can get sidetracked by your goals of being hella sponsed. And it can fuck you up a little bit. You know? So just be careful. You got to be skiing for the right reasons because it's fun.
Yeah. What do you think of, Vishnus have been in a lot of the urban movies coming out this year. How do you feel about that? Are you stoked on that? Or did you have a hand in making that happen? Or what's that looking like? Because every movie I'm watching it, like I feel like I'm seeing a pair.
I'm picking them, baby. I'm picking them. I see. You know? I know what to look for. That's it. I just know what to look for. I know what matches. And then people who are interested in skiing for the company meet me in person, and I'm just like how I am now. You know, I tell them the 2 rules. There's something very liberating about skiing for a company that doesn't give a fuck if you post on Instagram or not. I don't care. Like, seriously. It's cool. It's cool that you have skis and you post your videos on Instagram and they get likes and stuff. It's cool, right? But I don't care. Whereas, like, if you ski for another bigger brand, you might be contractually obligated to post 3 times a month, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. I'll never do that. And that's refreshing for people that are good at skiing, that have been sponsored skiers before, that come to Vishnu and they say, I want to fucking ride this shit. And I'm like, here's some skis, do whatever you want.
That's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of freedom. Yeah.
Here's some skis, do whatever you want. I mean, literally, that's what I say to people. So that's why they're in the videos that you've watched. Yeah. Because they're people that understand that the ski industry sucks, and it's propped up by a couple companies that don't give a fuck about park skiing. Park skiing is like an afterthought in their boardroom meetings. So when you meet me and you meet everyone associated with the brand, and we're all like real human beings that really like park skiing, and we're not like doing it for Instagram clout and shit like that, it's very refreshing and it's very attractive to a good skier. And that's why they're in the videos, you know?
Oh yeah. All right.
The skis are good, bro. Like, dude, you can say whatever you want about, like, something that when Vishnu started, it was like, this common comment was like, this is just a marketing thing. If the product's not good, people aren't going to use it.
Yeah.
Right?
This all comes down to you selling something good.
Yes. So like I was saying, I think of it, to sum it all up, I think of Vishnu, and I relate a lot of things back to food. Vishnu is a meal. And everything is balanced accordingly. The product is imagine you're a skier. The product is good. The Instagram is accessible and not cringeworthy. The things that you get with the skis are personalized and have a personal touch. The videos that come out are true to life and low budget and something that you could make with your friends. It's this meal. Right? But the main course, the steak, my friends, is that the skis are fun. And it's really that simple. Boom. That's it.
Boom. All right. Let's do some viewer questions.
Okay.
We've already gone over a bunch of them, so luckily I won't hold you hostage for too much longer.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just vaping in my room, dude. Fucking Christ.
All right. Jack Cady, shout out one of the Ski Sundown guys. He says, what's your favorite ski and graphic in the new lineup?
The river. Oh, man. Fuck. That's a tough question. My favorite design-wise is the river one, because have you ever heard the saying, like, less is more? That's like a cliche that people throw around.
Yeah.
Less is only more when you've proven that you can successfully do more. Once you've established that you are capable of doing more, then you can do less. And that river ski is a great example of that. There's no logo on it. But you can tell that it's a Vishnu ski immediately when you see it because of the themes that I've developed over the years. Water, warm colors, photorealism, skis making an image when you put them together. So that's the more, you know, all of that's been built up over the years that you can recognize that ski now. When I do less, when I just put a ski with no logos on it, you know that it's a Vishnu ski. So from the design aspect, that's my favorite one, because you could say that it's lazy and you would be correct. But like I was saying earlier, when you do the least correctly, it stands out. Mm-hmm. That's what I did on that ski. My favorite one, just as far as the top sheet itself, is the Vincent one, because I'm a big fan of art from various years. My mom used to come to our classes and do this thing called Project Aware, where she would like do like presentations on art pieces and stuff. I've been in like art stuff my whole life, like going to museums and all that, and had a, you know, it's kind of like an e-boy vibe nowadays to be into Vincent van Gogh, but Vincent van Gogh is a beast. He was so sick. He started painting when he was 28 years old, which is crazy. Died when he was 37. So he had a very short life where he cranked out just like some of the most influential work ever. He's a guy that did things the wrong way more than any other artist, pretty much. Just breaking down even the idea of what a painting is supposed to be, like layering the paint on an inch thick, you know, using big brush strokes that nobody else was doing. Everyone was painting like, you know, these detailed portraits that are supposed to be like photorealistic. He's just like slopping paint on the fucking thing. He's a genius dude. And that painting, Wheatfield with Crows, means a lot to me personally. So I like that one a lot.
Great answer.
Thanks.
All right.
I'm going to go see it in real life one day. It's in his museum in Amsterdam. I'd like to go see it.
Great city. Probably my top 3 cities.
Yeah.
Awesome city. Oh my God. So much fun. It is an awesome city. Yeah. You definitely got to get out there.
Yeah.
All right. Network Gabe, who wants me to let you know that he's the biggest simp for Vishnu. He asks,
what up, Gabe? How you doing, baby?
Yes. Do you feel like a change in your business model could help you make more money? / why don't you? Even though we've kind of already went over it, I feel like maybe we'll answer it directly for him.
Yeah, my answer to that is the big picture idea. I'm in no rush to roll out all the ideas I've ever had, you know, like you gotta always keep people wanting more, you know? Mm-hmm. And as soon as you make it known that you're out of ideas, I guess, in a way, things fall off, you know? So I could make more money for sure. I've had a lot of time, and probably it's because of, it is part of my privilege, I would say, to say that I don't care about money. I've come to that point in my life finally where I've seen huge sums of money go from my Stripe account, which is how you capture payments. I've seen huge sums of money I never thought I would see transfer into my bank account, and it didn't move me at all. And so I don't care, kind of. I would like to live comfortably. And the only reason I want to make more money is so I can give more money to the people that deserve it in the brand. People like Cal, people like Dylan Manley, people like Kyson. I mean, if I could pay everyone a yearly salary, I would do that. And maybe I will, you know, but money is... I saw this interview with this guy from Samsung and P. Diddy one time. and they're talking about how to make money and how people like go at it the wrong way. Money is the output of an equation. You don't make products to make money. You make products to reach people's needs. And money is the function of the equation. That's what comes out the other side is money. If you're just doing things to make money, you can't do that sustainably because you'll play yourself out. You'll jump on trends that run their course or whatever. So, I think that would be the answer to the question. I'm not trying to sell products to make money. I'm trying to sell products to meet people's needs. And they give me money for meeting those needs. I could make a lot of money, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I will, dude. Fuck. If I made this is I'm about to drop a hot one on you right here. This is a exclusive. I'm going to make a 171 next year, which is big. I do worry about the saga effect happening. I don't know if you're familiar with that phenomenon, but it was basically Saga got so big that all the annoying little 6, 7, 8-year-olds at your hill were wearing it. And then that alienates the people that have been buying your products for a long time. So the key is navigating, and that's like with the new ski, the key is navigating, no pun intended, that fine line between gaining new customers and not alienating existing ones. Because it's very easy to come out with stuff that alienates existing customers. It's much harder to make something that they like and new people like. I think the 171 is going to dodge the Saga effect because it's not a kid ski. A 171 is still an adult ski. It'll be a ski that women already ride 177 Vishnus because they ski pretty short. But it'll be a much more accessible ski for shorter people, for women, for, 15, 16-year-olds. If I'm really trying to fucking buy a boat, I'm going to make a 155, But like that'll come maybe. Who knows? I hope that I'm not listening to this interview in 10 years and being like, wow, I totally fucking did the opposite of that. And, I start making like, I don't know, an all mountain carving ski or some shit.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money's at. That's the thing. That's where the money is at for these big brands, because the people that run the big brands don't ski. That is the most important part of Vishnu, is that I go skiing physically 4 times a week at Park City Mountain Resort, the place where trends start. The 2 places that trends start in skiing is Park City Mountain Resort and Mount Hood in the spring. That's where it starts, right? I'm in those places physically. So I have a leg up on the people that run whatever, Line or whatever, the conglomerate company that owns Line, that is just only making choices off of algorithm-based margins. I get to actually be there in person and see what's current, what's next, what's not being done. And that's a strength that I have. There's not many ski companies that are run by people that actually ski. You would be shocked to find that out. And some of your favorite ski companies are run by people that didn't ski at all last year. At all. And I'm out there, I'm 30 with 2 fake knees, fucking eating shit, embarrassing myself in front of people, right? But that's the fun part. I get to see what people are wearing. I get to see the tricks that people are choosing to do. But these big companies are making the move towards all mountain cruiser groomer skis because they saw Blizzard do that with the Brahma and make the best-selling ski of all time. Shouts out to them. Cash the fuck out, baby. But what that means is that they're leaving park ski because they don't know how to sell park skis because they don't ski park. It is really that, I'm telling you that it's really that simple. And so that was kind of a bit of a roundabout answer to that question. But the answer to your question is, why don't I do shit to make more money? Because I don't fucking feel like it. How about that? Huh?
But then
I'm just saying, thank you for the question. Thank you for the question. Love you.
All right. Jackson _SB. What was the hardest part about starting a ski company?
The day-to-day self-doubt, honestly. Self-esteem and believing in myself. It's hard. It's hard sometimes to be tired physically, tired mentally, unsure about money. Not as much nowadays, but back, 2016, 17, like, we're fucking broke. What am I going to do? I'm still working at a pizza place, so the day-to-day, like, are my ideas good? Am I smart and cool? Is for sure the hardest part, for sure. But I have this like psychotic willpower that just, I don't know if it's genetic. I mean, I come from a family of very like fucking high T, super psycho bro ass dudes, you know what I mean? So like when things get difficult is when I really start to shine, honestly. Like I'm the type of person where I need hardship to overcome, to do things. So that's the hardest part is self-doubt and wrestling with self-doubt and convincing yourself that it's going to work. You have to be delusional to an extent to be successful in skiing and life. You have to do things that at one point you could never picture yourself doing, but you just have to do it. And that's it.
Word. And the last question.
Answer or no? I don't even know.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah. Because I'm a human being. Like the hardest part is being a human being on Earth.
Yeah, I think that's the honest answer. The lie would be like, the accounting is hard. Like, no, who cares?
The Earth is on fire. Our money's not worth anything. It's like, fucking, I'm going to be living in a tent in 5 years. We all are. So that's the hardest part, is being a human being. Right. Take your meds. You know what I'm saying?
That was good. I like that whenever you involve a prop, there's a sound effect. Like the thank you cards had the flipping through, the pill bottle had the pills. At least people can hear what you're showing me.
It's a I forgot we're not doing video. Sorry. I just held up my antidepressants here. It's an escitalopram, 20 milligram, known as Lexapro. Highly recommended if it is in your doctor and your best interest. Last question.
Yeah. So this one kid, Beyond 28, he says opinions on Ryan Voitin. Does that
right.
make sense to you?
Hell yeah, Ryan Voitin is a fucking top 5 Vision customer of all time, easily, dude. Easily. He has a permanent 10% discount. Permanent. It's my boy.
Well, I'm glad I asked that because I thought it was just a random shout out, but I'm glad it meant something.
Shout out to Ryan Voitin. He's a guy from Pennsylvania that was down with Vishnu early on when nobody was riding our shit. He was buying our skis. He was sending me videos. He's gotten really good at skiing over the years, comparatively. And he's just a dude that really loves skiing and is spreading the goodwill of the cult nationwide. Love you, Ryan. Good guy.
All right, last one.
Sure, we can do more. I don't know, whatever. You probably got to go to bed, huh?
Yeah, it's almost like we're getting close to 1 a.m. here.
Can't relate. Oh wow, damn. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
Nah, we're good. We're good. All right. I want to get this guy's name right. Ernest Serbulis. He says he asks, Vishnu the god is skiing something godlike, which I thought was an interesting way of phrasing how did the company get its name? That's like the number 1 question I get asked, how did the company get its name? And the answer is
at first that I just thought it sounded cool. I'm aware of, as a person that pays attention to branding and stuff like that, there's a couple different brands that are named after Greek mythology or whatever. Like Hermes, for example, is a luxury brand that's named after a Greek god named Hermes. And I just felt that there was something powerful about naming a company after a god. And that's really all I looked into it at first. I just thought it sounded cool because I was a 22-year-old fucking idiot. But then I started really reading about it. I started really learning about Hinduism and what Vishnu represents in a broader sense. It depends what sect of Hindu you are, obviously. It's a super diverse religion with tons of different sects and offshoots, etc. But Vishnu, the god, is known as like the overseer of life on earth, the preserver, right? The protector of you and your soul in Hinduism. And I felt that was fitting to appropriate for the ski company that I felt was destined to restore order to the ski world as I saw fit.
I love that answer.
And that came from, like I said, like I for sure at the beginning was culturally appropriating it 100%. And then over time, I learned to culturally appreciate it. And so that's why I don't put the image of the god Vishnu itself anywhere in the brand, anywhere. Because that is crossing a line into being disrespectful, because that's a sacred image that many people on the planet Earth hold very near and dear, right? I would never act like this is a religious organization. I would never use the image of Vishnu in anything, but the name itself is powerful. And also, if I could dodge cancellation here for a moment, Vishnu is a really common name in India. It's akin to naming your child like Jesus or Maria, like Virgin Mary. So I actually get a lot of people from India that are named Vishnu, like DMing Vishnu Freeski to be like, hey, like, cool, Yeah. So I think, and then as you can see, I feel guilty a little bit about the cultural appropriation angle. And so because of that, when I was an Uber driver, it's kind of a little backstory here, but here in Utah, there's this place called Alpine, Utah, that's known as the Silicon Slopes. Adobe has a headquarters out here, and the best and brightest from all over the world come to work here now, right? And a lot of them are Indian. Because a lot of people in India the focus is on higher education culturally. So it's a lot of people that are these brilliant minds that come to Utah to work in Alpine, Utah. And I would drive them when I was an Uber driver around whatever. And I always made a point, if they were Hindu, which most of them were, to ask what they thought about the name Vishnu and if it annoyed them. And they all said the same thing, which is, we're down as long as it doesn't represent something that is specifically forbidden in Hinduism. So like there's a beer company called Brahma, not down with that because drinking is forbidden, right? But basically what I've gleaned from the people that are Hindu that I've talked to is it's all good as long as you're being respectful. So that kind of helps me, sleep at night a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I think at the very least you are exposing people who otherwise might have never come across it to a different culture.
Certainly. And
like not doing it in a disrespectful way. It's just the name, and then they look it up. If they just look up Vishnu, which they probably do, if one of their buddies like, oh, what skis do you have? Oh, these are Vishnus. They look up Vishnu, they're probably seeing the god before they see the skis.
Definitely. I get a lot of kids that are in like college or high school level religion classes, and they're like studying Hinduism, and they send me like a little Snapchat or an Instagram video of like, look, Vishnu is in my textbook, and I'm like, yeah, bro.
And they're stoked on it.
I know, man. There's something intrinsically powerful about having a god, even if you don't know that it is a god. Calling your company something with a religious source, I guess, is just powerful innately because we're human beings, and religion is part of how the world has been formed, basically, from Christianity to Islam to whatever. Religion is powerful.
Word. So that's all I have. Thank you so much for coming on. Is there anything you want to leave us off with, or anything you want to plug?
Thanks for having me. It's nice to meet you. If you're still listening at this point, God bless. If you bought skis on Sunday after this comes out, they'll probably be on their way soon. If you email me, be nice. But for real, thank you for everyone. Thank you to everyone that's supported Vishnu over the years. It's been crazy to watch it grow to the point where if I start to think about it, I get really nervous. So I just sort of don't even think about it. I just put the blinders on and I get back to work. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Hell yeah.